Tonight on Connecticut's news station, it's been 4 years since little Vanessa Morales disappeared without a trace. 4 years of wondering, searching, and suspicions. Police in Ansonia tonight provide Fox 61 with an inside look into this cold case. Plus, another wrong-way crash on the highways, and tonight another family here in Connecticut is in mourning. An investigation is underway just over the state border. And we'll take you to the hardwood for a basketball tournament in memory of Hartford police officer Bobby Garton. Gone but not forgotten. We'll tell you how you could put some points on the board and help his family.
Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Carmen Chow. We begin tonight with questions that have plagued detectives in Ansonia for years. Where is Vanessa Morales and how did she vanish without a trace? This weekend marks 4 years since the baby girl disappeared. 4 years of unanswered questions and heartbreak. Fox 61's DeAndrea Turner joins us in the studio with the very latest. DeAndrea.
Hi, Carmen. Like you said, it's been 4 years too long for this search that began for Vanessa Morales, and officials say that they have not given up.
We know the same thing we knew 4 years ago yesterday. Christine Holloway was murdered, and Vanessa Morales is missing.
It's been 4 years of a family grieving the loss of their loved one, Christine Holloway, who was allegedly beaten and killed in her Ansonia home by her child's father, Jose Morales.
Well, new videos this afternoon as police continue the search for this missing 1-year-old girl, Vanessa Morales.
But justice hasn't prevailed as they are still searching for answers as to where baby Vanessa Morales is.
I know she's still out there. With who, I don't know.
She is still missing.
The case of missing Vanessa Morales has been one that Ansonia police haven't put to rest.
We're not going to stop looking. We won't close the investigation. As you said, it may become cold, but that doesn't mean it's closed.
In a joint investigation between Ansonia PD and the FBI, Lieutenant Patrick Lynch says that although time is going by, they still have hope they'll be able to give Vanessa's family answers one day.
We're working as hard as we can, doing as much as we can to make sure we find out what happened to Vanessa so we can give the family some answers.
Vanessa's father has been named as a suspect in her disappearance, but never formally charged. And over the years, the search for her has spanned across Connecticut, the country, and abroad. Investigators say they want to bring her home.
We need to find answers for them. We need to find answers for what happened to their niece, to their daughter, to their granddaughter.
And Vanessa's father, Jose, is headed to trial in the case for allegedly killing her mother, Christine Holloway, but there isn't a date set for that yet. Police encourage anyone with any information regarding Vanessa's disappearance to contact them. In the studio, DeAndrea Turner, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
DeAndrea, thank you. And turning now to the weather watch, a gloomy, wet and chilly day to end out the weekend, the type of weather that makes for a nice long nap. But will we see better weather tomorrow? Here's meteorologist Ryan Breton with a first check of our forecast. Hi, Ryan.
Hi, Carmen. Hi, everybody. Wet today, but the good news is this system's moving through quickly. We only have one more band of showers really to go through that's now approaching northwest Connecticut. A few downpours are getting close to Sharon, Salisbury and Kent right now, but you can see the movement of this. It's coming through really just over the next few hours, and by tomorrow morning this will be out of here. Up over northern New England, it has been snowing in the mountains of Vermont, New Hampshire and Maine. Interior parts of Maine will pick up 6 to 10 inches of snow by tomorrow morning. But for us, temperature is much too warm and it really won't be dropping much tonight, so there aren't really any concerns about refreezing or black ice in the morning. Midnight, still a few showers around, but once we get past midnight and toward tomorrow morning, we'll start to dry things out. 6 o'clock in the morning, temperature right around 40 degrees. Then the sunniest part of the day tomorrow will be the morning. Clouds start coming in for the afternoon, but it's fairly mild with temperatures tomorrow afternoon that will be up around 50 degrees. This is the mildest day of the next few, though. Temperatures will be on the way down Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll talk about how cool it gets and how long it lasts coming up in just a few minutes.
Ryan, thank you. New tonight, Waterbury police are investigating after a report of a rollover crash and shooting. It happened today at 1 p.m. on Delford Road. Police say the two people inside the car that crashed had also been shot. They were both men 19 and 20 years old and both survived. They're at a hospital tonight. Anyone with information is asked to contact Waterbury police. Tonight, police say they have found a man wanted for a murder here in Connecticut. The victim was 27-year-old Monisha Collins. She was found shot to death in her Fairview Street apartment in New Britain on Friday. New Britain detectives and state police say they tracked the suspect, 46-year-old Victor Blair of Hartford, to Pennsylvania. He is awaiting extradition. 2 people are dead following what Massachusetts State Police describe as a wrong-way crash, and one of the victims is from Connecticut. It happened Saturday night on I-395 in Webster, Massachusetts. Police say a driver traveling north in the southbound lane hit another car near exit 3. The wrong-way driver died, and all we know is he was a 31-year-old man from Auburn. The crash also killed a 35-year-old woman from Dayville, Connecticut. Their names have not been released. Police are investigating how that driver wound up going the wrong way. Also new tonight, a disturbing story in the Far Rockaway neighborhood of Queens in New York City. Police say a man stabbed 4 members of his family to death, including 2 children, and then he set their house on fire. According to police, Courtney Gordon was leaving the scene when officers arrived and confronted Gordon.
The officers, they engaged him in basically a casual conversation. Hey, did you hear anything? Do you know what's going on? And the male kind of nodded, and then he drew a knife from off his person, and he immediately attacked both officers, slashing the first officer in the neck and the second officer in the head.
The officer shot Gordon, who died at a hospital. Both officers survived, but the victims inside the house include an 11-year-old girl and a 12-year-old boy. One relative survived and is in critical condition. Police say they don't know the motive. Israeli forces are launching a new offensive in southern Gaza. The White House is urging Israeli forces to do more to protect civilians. Israeli airstrikes leveled a block of apartment buildings in a neighborhood in Gaza City. The United Nations says the airstrikes left about 50 residential buildings in ruins. At least 60 people were killed and more than 300 are believed to be buried in the rubble. Israel's military says it killed a Hamas battalion commander in the strike. Meanwhile, in the Red Sea, a U.S. warship fended off attacks on commercial ships. Rebels in Yemen claim responsibility for the latest in a series of drone strikes linked to the Israel-Hamas war. Lucas Tomlinson has the latest.
The USS Carney, a guided missile destroyer, destroyed 3 drones launched from Yemen. At 9:15 a.m. local, USS Carney detects an anti-ship ballistic missile fired from Yemen, impacting in the vicinity of a commercial vessel. At 12 o'clock, Carney engaged and shot down a drone launched from Yemen. At 12:35, a commercial ship was struck by a missile, causing minor damage. While assisting that ship, Carney detected a second drone and shot it down. At 3:30, a second commercial vessel was struck by a missile. Damage was reported. There were no casualties. And then at 4:30, a third commercial vessel was struck by a missile. No significant damage was reported. While answering that distress call from the ship, Carney shot down a third drone, quote, heading in its direction. USS Carney shot down 3 drones today. CENTCOM says the Houthi rebels from Yemen launched the missiles at the commercial vessels and were, quote, fully enabled by Iran. There have been at least 75 attacks on U.S. forces in the Middle East since the middle of last month. It's notable the Pentagon does not count attacks on U.S. warships at sea in this number. Friday night, before the attacks in the Red Sea, former Obama CIA Director and Defense Chief Leon Panetta spoke at the Reagan National Defense Forum on a panel hosted by Fox's Bill Hemmer. Panetta wants to see the Biden administration respond more forcefully.
I would be much more aggressive about going after those that attack our U.S. forces.
Do you think to date that our response has been too soft?
I think it's been a little bit too selective. I mean, we hit some ammo dumps, we hit some other targets. I want to go after those who are firing missiles at our troops and make sure they understand that when they fire a missile, they're going to die.
The U.S. military carried out another airstrike today in Iraq in what the Pentagon called self-defense. At the White House, Lucas Tomlinson, Fox News.
A frightening scene outside the Israeli consulate in Atlanta where a demonstrator lit themselves on fire. They claim to be making a statement in protest of the war. Law enforcement believe this was not an act of terror, but an extreme political protest. Officials say the demonstrator used gasoline to light themselves on fire. A security guard tried to intervene but was badly burned on his wrist and leg. The protester was last reported in critical condition.
We continue to ensure that everyone is protected in Atlanta, Georgia, regardless of your religion, regardless of your heritage, regardless of your nationality.
The Consulate General of Israel says they are saddened and praying for the recovery of that security guard. Right now, it's unclear if the person involved will face charges. Here in Connecticut, protesters walked behind Senator Chris Murphy outside a fundraiser for his re-election in Avon. They are demanding he work towards an immediate and permanent ceasefire. The Senate is considering a bill to send $14 billion in military aid to Israel. Organizers of the protest said they oppose any bill that includes more funding for Israel's war with Hamas.
And we're here to tell Chris Murphy that he can't keep raising money while he allows a genocide to continue by not taking a stance.
The protest follows a series of high-profile demonstrations across Connecticut. Last month, there were disruptions at Colt Manufacturing and Electric Boat, which supply arms to the Israeli military. Concerns over anti-Muslim hate have also increased following the shooting of 3 Palestinian students in Burlington, Vermont, including one enrolled in Trinity College in Hartford. And similarly, anti-Semitic attacks have also spiked here and around the world. The senator's staff told Fox 61, quote, Senator Murphy consistently engaged with community members and organizations in Connecticut on issues related to the conflict. He will continue to meet with constituents who have been impacted by this crisis. We have